Welcome back. So today I got something a little bit different, actually in the kitchen. Going to be putting on some drawer pulls for the kitchen cabinets and drawers. Got a bag full of these. Got a couple of templates and the tools we're going to need. So let's get to it. First off, you are going to need a couple tools. You're going to need a cordless drill or a regular drill if you still use corded. Need some type of screwdriver, probably going to be a Phillips tip. We're going to use just the impact driver. We're going to put it on low speed though and low torque so it doesn't damage the hardware. Going to need a tape measure. Some type of speed square could help out too for making your lines. We're going to use some painter's tape to mark off the cabinets. That way we don't mark up the cabinets or scratch them while we're getting everything lined up. And of course a drill bit to drill them out. The cabinet hardware itself. We're going to have a pencil and also an automatic center punch. Hang tight, we'll get started. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to use some tape. Tape up a couple spots on the drawer so we don't damage it. Peel a piece along the top here. And since we are using a template, we're going to make sure that this tape's nice and straight along the top edge there where it's going to rest. So that way it's resting even all the way across. Then we're going to put a piece about in the center of the drawer face. And that's going to give us a surface to make some marks on instead of marking on the cabinet itself. So first thing we need to do is measure the width of the drawer. And that comes out to 16 1/8. So our center line should be at 8 1/16. So let me grab a pencil here. Let's do it from this side where I can see. We will mark a center line. 8 1/16. And of course we'll double check that real quick, make sure we look good. Which that looks good. Okay, next we need to figure out how tall it is. And easier, come over here to the edge. Appears to be just shy of about 9 inches, or I'm sorry, 6 inches. All right, so let's put another piece of tape on there because I actually screwed up measuring that. We'll get that right about in the center. Okay, so we know the drawer is right about 6 inches. So we're just gonna go right at 3 inches down. We're actually going to be drilling the holes a little bit oversized, so it shouldn't make much difference for the probably 1/16 of an inch that they're going to be off, but that's going to be really close to the center. Sorry about the noise, my cat is running around in the kitchen in the background. So we'll put our template on here, and the template's got 5 different sizes of holes along it. So you've got it for 3 inch, 3 1/2 inch, 4 inch, 4 1/2, and 5 inch. The ones we're using are 3 inch. So I line that up. I can see that the 3 inch ones are the spots that I'm going to. Putting this template on here, I can look at my mark, which is right about there. So I can see that that's going to be right for the bottom set of holes along here. So we make sure we do the same one every time. We're going to go ahead and circle those. If If you don't want to mark up your template, you can always put a piece of tape over it, just poke out the holes that you need. But I just went ahead and marked them. That's easy enough. So, I've got that pretty well centered there. So taking my center punch, just put that in the hole. Hit it a couple times. I can see my marks right there and right there. I've got a fresh 3/16 drill bit, which I will put into my cordless drill. Now we're going to do one other thing, and that's that we're going to put a piece of tape on the inside. This will keep it from splintering out on the back as we drill through. I would probably recommend, before you start something like this, go ahead and get a fresh drill bit. That way you know you've got one that's good and sharp. Right on our center punch. We're trying to hold the drill as level and as straight as possible, so they go in straight and not at an angle. And there, our first one's done. We did have a little split out on the backside, but that's okay. Okay. We got both of them done. And peel our tape off. And we'll actually take the tape and clean up the inside. You can see that picked up most of the sawdust and everything in there. We'll still go ahead and vacuum that out after we're all done. But we can go ahead and peel our tape off. Down here. Okay, so now we have our holes drilled. We've got our screw. And our screw's not long enough. So, Okay, so I guess that's going to conclude this episode. And next time around, I'm going to show you how to install new cabinets. Because unfortunately, the screws are too short for these. And these are the ones we wanted because they were on clearance. So, yeah, next time we'll be install. What's that? Hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so we won't have to install new cabinets. I just found out we can just get longer screws. That's great. So it just goes to show you, on my drawer, it happens to have a double face on it. So you've got about a 1/2 inch along the inside, then you've got the decorative front on the outside. That's about 3/4 of an inch. Our screws that came with them, oops, are actually just shy of an inch, so they're pretty short. So, measuring this out, we come out to about 1.25 inches. We'll go about another 1/4 inch to make sure we have the plenty of length. And we happen to find 1.5 inch long screws at Lowe's. Got those. So let's try this again. And as you can see, we've got just about a 1/4 inch sticking out. So let's see how that does. thread on there. Get a thread on that side. We'll pop out the silverware drawer. Put that on the low torque setting. There we go. And our first handle's installed. Now, next up, we're going to be doing the doors as well. So I'll get set up for that and we'll be right back. Okay, so we taped off our door, got the tape measure. Now what we're going to do, we're going to measure between, you can see this kind of bevels down on either side. So to make it a little bit easier, we're just going to go ahead and measure the top section where it's raised at to see what our distance is. And that looks like an inch, and we'll say 3/8. Measure that out. Actually, we'll start there. That looks like a good spot right there. Make a little mark. We got a mark right there. Now we've got this other little template tool. This one actually has little edges on the side and on the top, so it can set up right against the door there. So looking here, I just find my mark and find my closest holes. So that looks like it's going to be this one and this one. And then we will take our center punch. Give those two little punches. Take and put a piece of tape along the back side here. And something else you want to check, especially when you're doing cabinet doors, is to see how far in this goes. And it looks like we're going to be okay. We shouldn't hit the actual part of the cabinet there while we're drilling. But if that is something you're worried about, you know, we can do something like that just to space it out. We'll grab our drill. There's one, didn't hit the side. There's two. Go ahead and peel our tape off the back side. Get our tape off the front side. We've got our holes there. Now, in this case, let's see here. Our screws that came with them will actually fit on these since they're just a single layer. Oh, let's pull that guy out. And the screw's not going to hit on the cabinet frame, so we're good there. And we're just putting these on lightly for right now to get them kind of lined up. And there's our next handle done. So this is the last cabinet front I've got to do. The only thing is that most of my drawers were about 6 inches deep. This one happens to be, I believe it was 8 inches. Yeah, this one's right at 8 inches. So our center line's right at 4. Now, so my center line is right about there. Now I put my template over there. You can see the lowest that it goes on the ones marked for the 3-inch is up here. So that of course isn't going to work. So let's see if we can figure out a way to mark out our 2 points and get this one drilled out. Okay, let's remeasure this again here real quick. So 3 inches there. Right, yep. 3 inches. There. Inches there, and 3 inches there. So what we've done is we've come in from each side, made a mark at 3 inches. Then what we're going to do is go from one of those marks down to the opposite corner. Go right like that, and we will go right like that, from there to there, and from there to there, and let's see what that puts us at. That looks much better. Okay. So now we have our centers, and just to double check, we can see that's right in line with those. So we will go ahead and take our center punch, get it as close to the center as possible. Just like so. Now I'll drill these out, I'll reattach the door front, I'll drill them through, and then we'll be ready to install the handles. Okay, so we've got our last 2 here. This is in the bathroom. We're just putting pull knobs on these, but there's a possibility we might want to change to handles in the future. So, I did this the same in the other ones too. We're going to set these up just like the other ones, with our marks in the same spots, so that way if in the future we do decide to go to handles, all we've got to do is drill another hole and we'll have them spaced exactly the same as all the others. So let's see here real quick. And apologize, the cat's in here with me. See her right here. She's curious what's going on. So there's one. Just double punch those. Here's the drill. And I think there's probably a lot of debate about the right or wrong positioning for the knobs. I guess you could call the positioning I'm using, I think I read online, as like a modern positioning, whereas going up more, you know, like centered right on the top corner there is considered traditional. But like I said, with the way that we're doing these, we may want to switch these out to handles, you know, if we find that things are catching on the knobs. So we went ahead and did them like this. So then that way in the future, if we do decide to go with handles, we just pop these off, put our template back up there, punch 2 more holes in, and then we're set to go. We've got them in the right position. We don't have holes that we have to fill, and they're all set. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you like what you see, subscribe down below, like the video. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.